Hi, everyone. My name is Lauren Spear, and you're listening to the HorrorFam.com podcast. Today, my guest is Sean Haitz, and you may know him from his previous work on Big Top Evil, but today he's here to talk about his upcoming film, Cannibal Comedian. So welcome to the show, Sean. How you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me, Lauren. This is awesome.
I'm so glad that you could be here. Your new film is described as a dark horror comedy, and that's my favorite kind of film, so I'm very excited about it. And right now, there's just the teaser trailer, but basically, it's about a cannibal who decides to do stand-up comedy on the side. So, two very brutal concepts in one movie.
Yeah, he finds out that stand-up comedy is just as brutal as his day-to-day. The world of comedy is pretty tough, and even for a cannibal psychotic killer, it can be rough when you're bombing.
I think that's awesome. And you guys are still filming parts of it, like it's mostly done, but you're still doing some like post filming to add in, little tweaks here and there. Is that correct?
That is correct. And actually tomorrow we're doing some promo stuff as well. That'll be fun. Yeah, we've been doing little add-on stuff. I did one reshoot because we wanted the kill scene to be more brutal and more gory.
More gore is always good.
Yeah, and especially it's one of the first kills, and I was like, this is kind of lame. I think the horror people want something more intense.
Yeah, and sometimes if it's really over-the-top gore, it just kind of adds to the absurdity and brings out the comedy even more. So I like that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I don't know how much you can or want to say about the film. Like, I don't want you to give out spoilers and regret saying anything, but I'd love to hear more, and I'm sure the listeners would too.
Yeah, so the name of the movie, Cannibal Comedian, pretty much tells you what you're going to see. So on a surface level, it's very silly concept. It's got the comedy puns and the gore. But we took about 1.5 years to write the entire script, and I had a lot of writers helping me, really just giving me notes. And I worked on a TV show called Siren, which is on Freeform, and the showrunners there also worked on From Dusk Till Dawn TV series, and then they were also the producers and showrunners on the Scream series on MTV. And so I was really able to dissect their brains. They would give me pointers for twists and arc for character, and so that really helped, and it really helps the movie a lot. So the movie is a very silly concept, but then it also has a nice story and great arc and twist, so it's cool. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, that's got to be hard because you also have to think up all the stand-up comedy routines that your cannibal is going to do, and so it's almost like you're writing two different movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how all that comes together. In the press release, there was something about how the cannibal practices his stand-up act for his victims before he kills them.
Yes, he does. This is even before he gets the guts to go out in the real world and do stand-up in front of a real audience. And one of the characters who is the Sheriff Weaver, who's played by the amazing David Vega, who also is on Twitter as Lucifer's Axe, and he's got great music and everything. He's just a unique, awesome guy. He kind of messes with Charlie, who's the cannibal, about, you got to do comedy in front of real people. And he's like, they are real people. He's like, nah, your victims don't count, Like, they'll laugh at anything if they have to.
Yeah.
He finally gets enough guts to go and do an open mic. And he actually does okay his first time. And you get to really experience what goes on in his head and his lifestyle. And it was a lot of fun. And Aaron Prager, who played Cannibal Comedian, is outstanding. I said on another podcast, like, you couldn't do Ace Ventura without Jim Carrey. And it kind of happens with this character as well. He was pretty much meant for this role.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, and you mentioned music. And will you be using some of Lucifer's X music in the movie? Or I know you also write and use original music for your work in the past. So will there be a mix of his and yours, or just yours? Or
Yeah, actually didn't even talk to him about the music stuff, and I get caught up in all the other things, and I forget that he's a cool and good musician. And I have all these songs that I wrote and I had pitched for TV shows, and for me it's like an opportunity to get all these songs in the movie. But I could definitely reach out to him and see what songs he has too, for sure.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you've got a background in music, right?
Yeah.
Singer-songwriter, and then you've also done other films, The Mangrove Slasher 2 and Big Top Evil, and you did a short called Swamp Zombie. So you've been kind of doing things for a long time. How did you get into all that?
Funny you mentioned the Swamp Zombie. I call that my first real film with a crew, and then we had it professionally edited. And I was only, I think I was 12 or 13, and it was about a 15-20 minute short. And even way before that, my Nana would come over to our house when I was really little, like maybe 8, 9, 10, and she'd bring over her video camera, and she was a little bit tough to get that thing away from her. But as soon as I got my hands on it, I'd never let go of it. And every time she'd come over, I'd like grab it from her and then go on and shoot my little movies. It's just something natural. I don't know what it was. It was my getaway drug, my love passion when I was very young, and I don't know where that came from. I have entertainers in my family. My dad's a great musician, and my mom's an artist. So I mean, obviously, it probably stems a little bit from that. But yeah, it was just kind of in the blood.
That's awesome. But what made you drawn to the horror genre in particular?
I'll tell you. Simply Halloween. I mean, every kid loves Halloween, but I am I go to another level, another extreme. When I was like 10, I dressed as Freddy Krueger, and my mom even did the latex, and I really turned into that character, and I don't even think I saw the movie. I saw pictures and maybe clips and stuff. But we had a haunted yard because we didn't have a garage, and I had the neighborhood friends help me, and we'd scare people, and we made a whole, we had the fog machines, and we had a grave where someone popped out of the grave. And
oh, wow, that sounds great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was just a dream. It was my little mini Universal Studios in the front lawn. And I remember kids were scared to come up. One of the gags, too, is I would have one guy sitting in a chair with newspaper coming out of him. Oh, he's fake. And then he'd jump out. So it was definitely, Halloween was the first love of horror. And ever since then, I've always loved it. I mean, nowadays, I can't watch it like at night. Sometimes I'll have really bad dreams, and it gets too real for me.
Yeah.
But to go and film, spectacular. And I still watch horror for sure. But yeah, it definitely, it gets to, like, it was almost the first real horror film that I ever sat down and watched all the way through was Scream, the first Scream.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I felt like the same feeling, like I rode a roller coaster. Like, I can't believe I watched that movie, and my mom drove me home from my friends, and I don't know what she was thinking. I'm like, I love when the killer guts the boyfriend and his guts come out. I can't believe they showed that. It was amazing. And I love, and that was, but I love the comedy aspect too. And that was the dark comedy part of it. And then, I mean, to go a little more is, I started doing stand-up comedy when, a few years back. And
I was going to ask if you also had a background in that.
Yeah. I've always loved comedy and characters. Mangrove Slasher, I played like 5 characters. I don't know if any of them were good, but I turned into these characters and had a big fake mustache on one character, and I played a stoner, then I played a nerd. I've always loved all that stuff too. So I have a love for horror and a love for comedy. So in the Big Top Evil, we had Cannibal Clowns in that movie, and that was probably the birth of Cannibal Comedian, I would imagine, because I love stand-up comedy, and then I was already doing the cannibal thing, and that idea just came out of nowhere. So, and then I just went with it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
In Big Top Evil, you had a cameo from Bill Mosley, right?
We did.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
How'd that come about?
So it was well worth it because, now we're friends and he still promotes the movie to this day. Okay, so real quick, my uncle had a pizzeria down in Florida, and Paul Rubens used to work for my uncle. And so I knew Paul Rubens, and I saw him way later, like years later. And I told him about my uncle, and he said, oh, that's really cool. And then we became friends, acquaintances, somewhat friends. Like we did hang out a couple times. He took me to a wrestling match one time, which was just bizarre. I'm hanging out with Pee Wee with like WWE people. Like, I was like, this is weird and awesome. So
no wonder you have strange dreams.
I know. So he told me about Bill Mosley because he said he met him at the gym. That was back when I was living in Florida. We shot most of Big Top Evil down there. Then I ended up going to Spooky Empire, and I told Bill Mosley. Paul said hi, and then I wanted to see if he'd be interested in Big Top Evil. And Paul told me to name drop him. So Bill jumped up and gave me his email and everything. He said, that sounds great. I told him I want you to be an evil ringmaster. And so, yeah, he flew down to Florida for the day, and we had him for like 12, 14 hours, got him in 3 scenes, and it was a lot of fun. We were talking about making a Big Top Evil. His character's name was Carver. Mr. Carver, and called Big Top Evil Carver's Last Circus, and just star Bill Mosley and make a really damn cool movie. And I hope that comes to fruition eventually.
Oh, I'm sure it will. I mean, You seem very determined to get things done, so.
I guess so. Yeah, and what's cool with all my movies, from Mangrove Slasher 2 to this movie, and this is a lot of years. We're talking 9 years in between. Lucifer's Axe and Miss Sadistic. Lucifer's Axe plays Sheriff Weaver, and then Miss Sadistic plays a character called Eleanor in my new movie. And they were in my movie Mangrove Slasher 2 and Big Top Evil and Cannibal Comedian. And also Austin Judd, who's a wonderful actor. She was in Big Top Evil. She played Candy, and now she has an awesome role in Cannibal Comedian. And cool thing about her, too, is I knew that she was uber talented, but she got recognized by Bill Mosley's manager, Judy Fox. She manages every iconic horror person, Kane Hodder, all those guys. And she sparked interest with Austin right away because she just has that it factor, and she can be really sweet and crazy and really strong presence on screen. So I knew I wanted to have her in Cannibal Comedian too.
That's awesome. You're getting your own little round of regular people there.
Oh yeah.
You don't act in Cannibal Comedian, not this time. You're listed as the writer, director, and producer. Or do you show up in it?
I don't. I really just wanted to take the role as director on set and just keep it that way, because on this movie I was able to have an actual a small crew. Like on Big Top Evil, we were still kind of student film style, just trying to figure it out. On this one, we really tried to have a real set. I had an AD, a second AD, DP, and his camera assistant, a grip. So we had a small crew on this one. So I really just wanted to focus on just being a director.
Oh, well, That's exciting, though.
Yeah, it was. It was very cool.
And when will Cannibal Comedian be coming out? Like, I know it got kind of pushed back, right, because of the pandemic and
actually
everything.
It didn't get pushed back at all. We wrapped filming in February, and some of the B-roll and little stuff we've been able to just do with one actor in the last week. And
okay. So
just fill-in stuff.
I guess you guys lucked out, huh?
Yeah, I didn't even know I know that people were talking about the pandemic before that, but it wasn't even a thought, and we wrapped this thing up real quick. And the DP was amazing too. His name's Jacob, and he shot a movie. When you see it, you're like, wow, like you want to sit back and have popcorn, because he really has an eye for cinema. The last one I made was much more handheld and kind of artsy and grindhousey, but this one is like No Country for Old Men, like just a beautifully shot film. And then, what's fun too is I did add on all my handheld B-roll-y type of crazy camera stuff too in between. So you got this really nice paced film with some like dramatic inserts of kills and things like that. I wanted to add that little color of my own style to it. But the movie, so we want to premiere it hopefully in September if things aren't, I mean, I know the pandemic's still happening, but if we can do a small premiere and social distance and stuff like that here in LA, we're looking at September. And then, when the movie comes out physically or digitally, that all depends on the distribution part. but I would love to release it this year. But we will have a premiere this year.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And I guess
And
you'll
you're
let
invited.
me.
Yeah, you're totally invited.
Oh, well, I that's not what I was gonna say, but I just,
Yeah.
let me know when it's, available for people, everyone to watch, and I'll update all the links and everything.
Oh yeah, for sure. And what's another bizarre thing is we're doing the premiere at the Workaholics house from the show. A friend of mine owns the house. It was in every episode, and it's just a killer party house as well, and very iconic. And some of the guys on there are stand-up comics, and so we just thought it would be fun to have a screening outside at the Workaholics house. It's different, but it's a really cool place. I checked it out. I mean, just it looks like a place to have a premiere. It's very cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
And September's not too far away, so
I know. Gotta finish this thing.
Yeah, what are you here talking to me for?
I know. What am I doing?
Well, so that everyone knows where to follow you and how they can keep up to date on the latest happenings with Cannibal Comedian and anything else you do, can you tell them, where to find you, please?
Yes. CannibalComedian.com, and we'll have some merch actually coming up soon, and also which has links to our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, so that you can stay totally up to date, and then you can join our mailing list too, and we'll update everything with the premiere and the release and what's going on. And also on the website has behind the scenes and lots of pictures and some of the actors talking about their favorite part of the movie, so people can really hopefully connect with what we're trying to do here with this original project.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you'd like to say before I let you go?
She was pretty on the outside, but it's her insides that really count. Yeah, I got a bunch of those. There's a lot of those puns.
And I guess we'll be hearing more along those lines when we all see the movie, huh?
Yes, indeed.
All right, Sean, thank you so much for being on the show. Okay, everybody, that was Sean Haitz of Cannibal Comedian. And yeah, thank you, Sean.
Thank you. And I wanted just to shout out to Robert Dunn, that plays Carrie, the owner of the comedy club. And he's fantastic in the movie, too. And that's it.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.